At the end of day one, we got one swale complete, and we got halfway done with another one. Now, we're on to day number 2 of swale building, and we're having a good time. All right, here we are on back on what we loosely call the We're Having a Good Time Ranch, although it's not really a ranch and that's not really the name, but we don't have a name for it, so that's what we loosely call it. But here we are building some swales, taking what was once an overgrown bank that we had mulched out, turned into a regular bank, just full of grass, and now we're adding some swales in here with hopes of really getting into some permaculture, food forest type stuff, a bit of an orchard with lots of life, lots of food, and you know, we're getting it done out here. Originally, we wanted the top swale to be the really long one that would go and wrap around, but we decided not to wrap around because if we went too low on the first one, then the second one would be too low, and the hill's a bit steep for what we're trying to do. And also we got this power line here, and the power company apparently has some sort of easement to where if they want to just come cut all your trees down around the power line, they can. So we wanted to try to stay away from the power line as much as possible. So we thought on the top we could plant some smaller trees, and then on the bottom go larger. But on the second swale, it's gonna be a much longer one. So we dug up 4 of the pear trees that I already had planted, and I'm hoping that they'll help me get those back in the ground today. But even if they don't, I got some hole diggers, and as you've seen, if you watch the other videos, me and Hannah with our little baby Daisy planted 20 trees out here by ourselves with a shovel and post hole diggers. So we can get it done. But yeah, they're working on the second swale now, and it's gonna be great. I mean, I've never been so pumped about a project. It's gonna be awesome. Now, like I've said, I've never done this before. I don't know if this will work out. But as it stands, my trees are dying, and this hill is pretty useless to me. I don't even like walking up and down the hill. It's hard to cut the grass on the hill. It's so steep that I think no matter what, this is gonna make better use out of this hill. And we're close to this tree, but we're conscious of not messing up that tree's root system. But it's like some of these trees are dying on their own. We got a tree over here that fell because of a windstorm. We got a tree down there that got struck by lightning. Yesterday I ripped a small tree up out of the ground by the roots just because it had rotted. So some of this stuff just dies on its own. So we're gonna try to get in here and create something cool. You don't even hear birds. You don't see any wildlife out here. Sometimes we have some turkeys, sometimes some deer, but I'm hoping this project can really bring in some wildlife out here. Get some birds and bees out here and some butterflies. Get some life out here. But that's why hopefully this will trap everything from just washing away. Because this seems a little more brown up here, but if topsoil washes down, hopefully it gets trapped in here and, you know, we can just use it. I don't know. It's gonna be great though. It's really gonna turn around out here. And I've said to Aunt, you know, maybe this doesn't work and it's all a disaster and we have a real mud pit out here. But
you know what? I won't know the difference if it works or if it doesn't. So.
Cherries, I mean, they seem to grow best up in Michigan. Traverse City, Michigan is apparently cherry capital of the U.S. So I think they'll do fine here. Apples, pears, plums, peaches, and cherries. But if this really holds water well, we may be able to get a weeping willow in here somewhere.
Running that swale, girl.
Yeah, see, the drain pipe should come out right here, hopefully right around here somewhere, so that when it rains and instead of the water puddling up there, comes through that tube, pops it right out, goes into the swale.
What are you gonna do if you're in Nashville and the first rain comes through as well? Are you gonna drive out here
Maybe.
to watch that rain?
Maybe.
This is just a slice of Tennessee.
Yeah.
This is just what good old folks in Tennessee are up to. And we're going to be looking for maybe some government grants after this for any other kind of projects that my husband might find on the internet.
For some pond projects.
Yeah, we want a top pond and we want a bottom pond. And we want it all to be fueled by the creek.
And then run back into the creek.
Yeah, Circle of Life Creek.
What do you think of the swale?
Hi.
Do you like these ditches?
Yeah.
All right.
I wonder how often these guys have an entire family and camera watching them work.
That's how it goes with us when we get home. Home repairs and stuff, we're always home.
They're probably thinking, these are the weirdest Amish people we've ever seen. And we don't know what they're doing. They don't know what.
Do neither of them work? They don't have a job? They're just hanging out with their kids?
Yeah, just hanging out here, and they building these ditches. I wonder if they know
3 trips to Walmart every day.
I wonder if they know I have a joke about tornado ditches, and they think that, hey, this guy's preparing himself for a tornado out here. One December we had a tornado warning, and I was listening to the radio, and they were telling us what to do during this tornado warning based on what kind of house you live in, right? They were like, if you live in a house with a basement, go into the basement. If you live in a house without a basement, go into a bathroom or a small room. And they were like, if you live in a trailer park, we want you to go to a neighbor's house or go outside and lay down in the ditch. That's the real news. They're like, listen, we don't know what to tell you. Hell, you made some bad decisions along the way. Now you got to deal with this. They're like, we can't help you. And they're like, yeah, I know it's raining out there, and that ditch is going to be full of water. Just get down in it. Once this is all gone, once these guys are all gone, and I get out here with my post hole diggers, and I'm planting trees, and that's where it'll really get fun. This is exciting to watch for me, but it's really fun to dig in the dirt. And I've been looking up how to create topsoil and potting soil for years now, and I still don't know if I know anything about it. But I'm learning, and I want this red, hard clay. I'm walking on it, and I'm not even really pushing down the track so much. It's such a hard clay, but I hope that this, we can get in there and work it and create a bit of a different soil, get some stuff going. But when ultimately this turns into some magical garden out here, we can remember this. We can look back and go, this is what it took to get here. Or one day, if this is just a slush pile of mud and disaster, we can go, hey, and we can look back on it and go, remember, you had a beautiful bank of grass and you paid for it to become this. Slushy mud pile. But who doesn't like to watch basically an army tank with a front end loader on it just move around some dirt? Watch a backhoe, as we call that, but as I've watched on Peppa Pig with my daughter in England, they seem to call this a digger, but we always called it a backhoe. And we're having a good time on this food ranch. One day, maybe it will be a ranch. We'll have some goats, maybe some chickens, some cows. I don't know, we'll get something going out here. I'd love to have some sheep and maybe 1 or 2 cows. But I don't know if we got enough land for cows, but Some people get into the idea of cows walking on the ground, it breaks up the soil, and then the cows pooping everywhere helps fertilize, creating a topsoil. So I don't know. I'd like to get into that though. But a little bit at a time. Little bit at a time. One plan is that I want to do a comics retreat. For myself, it's a writer's retreat. Any way I can come out here, spend time in nature. All the great writers would talk about spending time in nature, and that's where they would get inspiration. I think it's true. I think that oftentimes we got so much information coming at us that we never really take time to process all the information that's coming in. And I think that's where that's what nature's good for, is really coming out, resting, processing the information. So I want to also make this a comics retreat where I can bring other comics out here. We spend some time, do a little camping, and have some cigars potentially, and just work on jokes and workshop and get back to nature, find some real inspiration. But also we could walk through these swales, eat some fruit off the trees, and that's what I'm into. So that's the hope. We're having a good time.
Dusty has explained to me the swales probably a dozen or so times, and I'm still not exactly sure what they are. And now that I see them, still not quite sure.